Hello and welcome to Tutors. So, now we are going to start the next chapter in 11th standard biology, that is Animal Kingdom. This is the first video on Animal Kingdom. So, let us start. Now, when we look around, we can observe different kinds of animals around us. So, it's time that we classify these animals. In spite of the difference in structure and form of different animals, there are some fundamental features common to them, like their arrangement of cells, body symmetry, nature of coeloms, etc. We shall learn about them. So, we have some criteria based upon which we classify animals. Now, they include levels of organization, body symmetry, nature of coelom, patterns of digestive, circulatory, or reproductive systems. So let us explore them one by one. The first one is level of organization. Though all members of Animalia are multicellular, all of them do not have the same pattern of organization of cells. For example, in case of sponges they have just some loose cell aggregates. So they exhibit the cellular level of organization. When some division of labor occur among cells, like they form tissues. So the tissue level of organization, it is seen in coelenterids and ctenophores. Some cells they combine together and they form a specific function. That is the formation of a tissue. And tissue level of organization, it is seen in coelenterid and ctenophore. Next we have the organ level of organization. That is when the arrangement becomes more complex. So, in case of platyhelminthes, we have some tissues are grouped together to form organs and each specialized for a particular function. So, this is an organ level of organization seen in platyhelminthes. In case of higher animals like annelids, arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms and chordates, each of them the organs have associated to form functional systems, with each system concerned with a specific physiological function. This pattern is called the organ system level of organization. So there is no need for getting confused. So these terms like sponges, coelenterids, ctenophores, these are the coming these are the divisions that are coming under animal kingdom, about which we shall learn in detail. So just we have to understand the 4 levels of organization: cellular level, tissue level, organ level and organ system level. So in case of organ system, let us take our body itself. We have different kinds of organ systems like respiratory system, reproductive system or digestive system, in which each system consists of a set of organs. To think about the digestive system, now digestive system in the organisms exhibiting the organ system level of organization, it can be of 2 types. The first one is incomplete. In incomplete digestive system, only a single opening is present which serve as both mouth and anus. But in case of the complete digestive system, there are 2 openings that are present which act like the mouth and the other one act like the anus. So this was about the digestive system. We also have the circulatory system. It can be of 2 types. The first one is open. In open type of circulation, the blood that is pumped out of the heart and the cell are pumped out of the heart, and the cells and the tissues are directly bathed in it. But in case of closed type of blood circulation, the blood is circulated through a series of vessels like arteries, veins, capillaries. Let us see that you can see this picture here. So the first one represents an open circulatory system in which the blood from the heart is pumped into the sinuses, that is spaces surrounding the organs. But in case of a closed circulatory system, the blood is confined within the vessels like arteries, veins, capillaries, etc. So next classification is based upon symmetry. Animals can be classified based upon their symmetry. Like first one is asymmetrical. When we say asymmetrical, we mean that when any plane is passed through their body, they cannot be divided into 2 equal halves. like it is seen in the case of sponges. Next, we have the symmetrical organisms in which the body can be divided into two equal halves. Now, it can be of two types. The first one is radial. That is, in case of radial symmetry, when any plane passes through the central axis, the body can be divided into two equal halves. That any number of planes can divide the body into two equal halves. It is seen in the case of coelenterids, ctenophores, and echinoderms. Next, we have the bilateral. In case of bilateral symmetry, the body can be divided into two equal halves only by a single plane that passes through the central axis. Now, the bilateral symmetry is exhibited by the remaining group of organisms, which we shall see. So, this is a picture depicting how symmetry is used to classify organism. You can see the sponges, they cannot be divided into any half. But in case of radial symmetry, you can see that the body is symmetric, and so it can be divided by any number of planes. But in case of bilateral symmetry, only a single plane can divide them into two equal halves. Next, we have diploblastic and triploblastic organization. So, in animals, when they are in the form of an embryo, there are formation of different layers. These layers are called germ layers. The germ layers, they give rise to different organs, which we shall learn. So, there can be diploblastic animals and also triploblastic. So, when do we say diploblastic? When in animals, their cells are arranged in two embryonic layers, it is called diploblastic. Into an external ectoderm and an internal endoderm. So, and an undifferentiated layer called mesoglia can be present between the ectoderm and the endoderm. We will see the picture. Just understand that in diploblastic organization, there will be two germ layers, outer ectoderm and an inner endoderm, and a mesoglia in between them, which is an undifferentiated layer. It is seen in the case of coelenterids. In case of triploblastic organization, there are three germ layers: the outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and the middle mesoderm. Now, it is seen in the animals from platyhelminthes to chordates. That is a division. Phylum. So you can see the picture here. In the first one is a diploblastic animal. In case of diploblastic animals, you can see an outer ectoderm, an inner endoderm, and an undifferentiated layer called mesoglia present between the two. In case of triploblastic animals, there are three germ layers: outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and a middle layer which is seen in yellow, that is mesoderm. The fourth one is the coelom. What is a coelom? A coelom is a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall, and this is a very important criteria for classification of organisms. A true coelom is lined by the mesoderm. So, animals which possess the coelom are called coelomates. And you can see the picture here. That is, we have in violet color, we have the ectoderm, and you can see the orange color mesoderm, and you can see that coelom there. The coelom is lined by this mesoderm. So these are called coelomates. But we have another group of organisms called pseudocoelomates. You can see the picture here. Here what happens is that the mesoderm is present, but it lies in the form of scattered pouches between the ectoderm and the endoderm. So such animals are called pseudocoelomates, and that cavity is called pseudocoelom. Here the mesoderm is scattered in the form of pouches. Finally, we have the acoelomates. In case of acoelomates, there is no coelom. Coelom is absent here. And you can see the picture, there is no coelom present. So finally we have this table which gives us the broad classification of kingdom Animalia based on some common fundamental features. So you can see that kingdom Animalia is divided based upon the levels of organization into cellular level, tissue level, organ level, and organ system level. The organisms with tissue, organ, or organ system levels are further divided based upon their symmetry into radial and bilateral. The organisms possessing the radial symmetry are coming under the phylum Coelenterata and Ctenophora, and before that, the organisms coming under cellular level are placed under phylum Porifera. The organisms possessing the bilateral symmetry can again be divided into possessing the body cavity without the body cavity, that are acoelomates, with a false coelom, pseudocoelomates, or with a true coelom, that is a coelomates. So the organisms which are acoelomates are included under the phylum Platyhelminthes. Though pseudocoelomates are coming under Aschelminthes, and the coelomates are coming under Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. So along with this, we have introduced the 10 phylum that we are going to study, that is phylum Porifera, phylum Coelenterata or Cnidaria, phylum Ctenophora, phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Aschelminthes, phylum Annelida, then Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. We shall be learning about each phylum in detail in the next video. There are further some more criteria based upon which organisms can be classified. So the next one is segmentation. In some animals, the body is externally and internally divided into segments with some serial repetition of some organs. For example, in the case of earthworm, the body shows pattern called metameric segmentation, and the phenomenon is called metamerism. You can see here that in each part is called a metamer, and each metamer consists of the repetition of some organs. Not all, but at least some organs will be repeated, and this type of segmentation is called metamerism. Finally, we have a notochord. What is a notochord? A notochord is a mesodermally derived rod-like structure formed on the dorsal side of the animal during the embryonic development. So, notochord is a structure that may be persistent in some animals, and it may sometimes the notochord was not at all present during their embryonic development. Sometimes the notochord was present during the embryonic development, but it regressed. And in some organisms, it is still persisting even after they have been born. So based upon that, organisms can be called chordates or non-chordates. Chordates are those organisms which possess a notochord or which possessed a notochord at some point of their life, and those organisms which never possessed a notochord are called non-chordates. Now, non-chordates are those organisms coming under phylum Porifera to phylum Echinodermata. So you can see the picture here. In the first yellow line is that of a dorsal hollow nerve cord, and below that we have a notochord. We will learn more about notochord, nerve cord, etc. under the phylum Chordata. So this was about the classification of kingdom Animalia, and now we are going to study each phylum in detail in the next video. Thank you.